It is the history and legends of Mexico back to the earliest times, and it's spray-painted on a supermarket in the Barrio in San Jose, California. It's a reminder to the Mexican Americans who live here of their past, their heritage. It is bright, and it is bold, and it's there for all to see. There's a lot of bright, bold art in this Barrio. It's just not the kind you would expect. It is a full-size car with undersized tires. As often as not, it has a custom paint job, and it always has a tiny steering wheel, often welded chain. And its owner is Mexican-American. With hydraulic lifts, he can make the front end go up in the air. And as far as that goes, by using the hydraulic controls inside the car, he can make the front end go down far enough that it scrapes the roadway. The car is called a lowrider or a ride. It can have lifts just in front or all around. A fancy lowrider is called a bad ride and is the pride of the California Chicano who owns it. He'll do anything to make it the best bad ride around. The east side of San California is a barrio. There are 600,000 people in San Jose, and 22% of them are Chicano. All but a handful live on the east side. San Jose has always had a large Mexican-American community. Originally, they came to work on the farms. Now they work, when there is work, in construction or industrial plants. And they have made San Jose the low-riding capital of Northern California. The term lowrider refers to the car and the driver, and there is nothing a lowrider wants more than for his bad ride to be noticed and admired. For the last 18 months, lowriders have had their own magazine, published from a small office just off the San Jose State campus. Called Lowrider, it has a circulation of 30,000, and that is going up. The editor is Sonny Madrid.
In the U.S., it's supposed to be like a melting pot, and so everybody just blends in, right? Well, like with the Chicano community, and probably with Mexico being so close, it hasn't really been that way. They've kind of tried to, they create their own style, their own fashion. Who lowers their cars but Mexicans? Who paints their cars the way with all the flashy paint jobs but, you know, the young Chicano? Like where'd the style all come from? I blame the Indians. I blame the Mayas, the Aztecas. They were the very first Pachucos. They were the first lowriders. In those days, they customized their bodies, and like nowadays, they're customizing their cars.
Lowriders have been around since after World War II. But they are just beginning to organize into clubs, and the clubs are just beginning to organize what they call happenings, like this one in Los Angeles. Lowrider clubs are usually rivals, but they have been talked into cooperating by other Chicanos who can't see any sense in fighting among themselves. After all, they share the same memories. Dennis Eagleson.
I remember I used to stay many nights outside of my mom's house or outside of one of the boulevards in the neighborhood and just look at cars going by and kind of make believe in my mind that that's my next car coming here. This is my car. Of course, I didn't have a job. I didn't have the money to finance a car, but I always kept my mind occupied on the status symbol of a shiny automobile. What I'm trying to do is to create a feeling of, hey, pride, like, hey, I have my car here. Why not? You know, I have a group of guys I'm with. Why not? Why not dress the zoot suit part, you know?
Lowriding is not a teenage fad. It is a Chicano social event involving men and women of all ages. Families go for lowrider picnics and Sunday afternoon drives, caravans of them, all of them going, as they describe it, low and slow, so they'll be noticed and admired.
They tell me
Lowriders have their own music. A classic among them is titled, "Let's Take a Cruise Down Whittier Boulevard." It was written and recorded by Willie G. He used to be a mechanic. He is now a musician who, some years ago, had a national hit called "Land of a Thousand Dances." Willie G., complete to zoot suit, is a lowrider, and he says music led to lowriding.
That's what started me in it, music, and the people around it, where the action was. They kept this display of moving art on the road, constantly, everywhere. There was a place where people could come together and get it together, admire each other, so to speak, and say, yeah, man, I want to be like that. I want to do that. I want to have that before I have to leave.
Along with its own music, lowriding has its own art. These were done by Teen Angel, a lowrider in San Jose. But lowriding is not all aesthetics. A considerable part of it is economics. But like the music and the art, the economics are somewhat different.
The economics dictate just what kind of a lowrider you're going to be. And so you do that, but now there's like a reverse going on in that it's a very in-fashionable thing to get the old car.
If you're the usual car owner, these cars may look like junk to you, something you'd pay somebody $25 just to tow away. You shouldn't do that. This is a 1950 Ford. It was running when Joe Limonis bought it for about $400. Now he's making a low rider out of it, and when he's through, it will sell for not quite 3 times what it was worth when it was sold brand new. And it was sold brand new for $1,539.86. Joe got it from the original owner, complete with owner's manual and sales invoice. However much it costs, buying the car can be the cheap part.
This dash here is going to be ripped off right here. We're going to install a television in here, but make all this blend down with padding all the way down to the floor, make it look like one piece. You won't see no metal in here. The whole interior is going to be what you call a custom job to the max. Something like this, I would say it'd run close to $3,000.
The $3,000 is for the inside. A custom paint job on the outside, a good one, will cost another $1,600. And to repair a scratch could cost $600. Then there are the hydraulic lifts. You can't have a bad ride without them, preferably all around.
We're going to start out with the pump. That's the main part of the setup. Lifting all the way around is going to need 2 of these. Pumps run about 130 each, and they're used to pump the fluid into the car. Then you need your cylinders. Take 4 of them for all the way around. If you come in and buy the whole complete setup, you have a real sweet deal. If you come in and buy piece by piece, you know, you're going to be spending like right around $1,000 for front and back.
Naturally, the majority of the people, they don't have very customized car to the max. They just got probably a chain steering wheel. Even though maybe they don't have all the accessories and they can't afford the elaborate paint job, the upholstery, but that's enough to identify.
But old ride or new ride, you've all got these little tiny steering wheels.
Yeah, they're easier to handle.
Simon Perez bought his '54 Chevy for $300 and has spent $1,500 more on it. Not all bad rides are designed to be driven low and slow. Some are designed for the lowrider's favorite sport, hopping. Earlier this year, the staff of Lowrider magazine, neighbors, friends, and the curious watched a hopping test. The car has a permanently raised rear end, so when it travels on the road, it goes by truck, but it does have an engine. Engines don't play much of a part in lowriding anyway, but they don't count at all in hopping. Ralphie Douglas, whose brother owns a hydraulic shop, knows what does count, bouncing the front end in the air. Using the front end hydraulic lifts, the object is to get the front wheel as high off the ground as possible. Ralphie's goes high enough that 1 week after this test, he won $3,300 by duplicating this feat, standing the car on its rear bumper.
Come on, Ralph. Sit it down, sit it down. Go ahead. Ralph, sit it down. Come on.
At least once a week, usually Saturday afternoon, lowriders go to a do-it-yourself car wash, crank up the music, and clean up the cars. There are probably no cleaner automobiles anywhere in the country. After all, if you're going low and slow on Saturday night, other people may notice you, but they won't admire a dirty car. Whatever they do, washing the cars or cruising the streets, lowriders do together, and that causes problems. Motorists complain that they block traffic. Shopping center owners say they congregate on the parking lots at night, leaving trash and disorder behind. The lowrider clubs admit that there has been trouble. On the other hand, they say, no one has ever given them a chance to do it right. The events the car clubs do organize usually go off without a hitch. This disco party in San Jose was sponsored by the Chicano's Pride Car Club. The members all came in their lowriders, many of the men in zoot suits. Vince Chavez, president of the club. It was a good night for him. His club's dance was a success, and he was wearing his first suit.
I was broke, and I sold some hubcaps for $5, and that's how I ended up getting a suit. And the pants and jacket was $1.25, and the tie was 35 cents, you know, so I made out all right, you know. Had it looking pretty good. It looked like a $50 suit. You know, I was pretty proud of the first suit I ever had in my life. You know, I've been low riding since I guess I was about 16 when I got my first car. With it, you know, with your ride, that's your identity. That's how people know you. You could be anywhere. A lot of people don't have jobs, or they don't have the money, you know, to be going skiing, or you try to, you know, do one thing, and a lot of people, especially Chicanos, they get into their cars. You know, it's pretty nice. You have your car, that's your ride. When you go out, you know, that's what you call, that's your pride.